In this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 characteristics of a high-quality sober living home. It's a daunting task when someone is looking for a sober living home, which is essentially the next step in the recovery journey, or the first step. It's either the next step, the step down after inpatient treatment, or for some people, it's their first step. And it's so important to find the right sober living home. There's a sober living home that's the right home for everybody. However, when you're looking for a sober living home, you want the sober living home to include these 5 characteristics: accountability, support, structure, community, and purpose. Let me talk about each one of those really quickly. So accountability, examples of accountability means the house manager is a full-time W-2 employee. When the house manager is just a senior resident and they get free rent, they don't have the capacity to really hold the clients or the residents accountable to the rules of the home. And so it's important that the house manager is a full-time W-2 employee that gets compensated to hold the clients accountable, make sure they're out of bed, make sure that they're going to work or they're doing the things they're supposed to do. They're not sitting around the house watching TV, smoking cigarettes. They're home by curfew. House managers are going to also do the drug testing. So all of the and also manage the technology assisted care when that's available. So full-time house manager is important. Technology assisted care is new. Not all sober livings have this yet, but my experience is the best sober livings utilize technology assisted care. It's 2020. It's just a better way to provide a higher level of accountability and to confirm that clients or residents are doing all of the things that they say they're going to do. They're following through with their commitments. They are doing their chores. They're calling their sponsor. They're going to a meeting every single day. Apps normally also have GPS tracking, so when a resident goes to a meeting, they check in at the meeting via the app. So it's just a great tool to hold residents accountable to doing what they say they're going to do. Drug testing, randomly 2 times a week, every single week, randomly 2 times a week, not sporadically, not if the house manager thinks that they're drunk or high. It's drug testing is preventative, so needs to happen 2 times a week randomly. Next is support. So ways to provide more support includes a stable community. So a sober living community where the average stay is longer than 90 days. So 90 days to a year, that's good. Anytime a sober living house accepts weekly payments, there's no consequence when a resident leaves early. And people that go to sober living, typically they're early on in recovery and they can make their mind to leave when they're having a bad day, when they get into a fight with another resident, if they are not happy with the house manager, and if there's a consequence or some other incentive for them to stay for a longer period of time, it's good. So we want them to work through their issues and stay in their living environment for at least 90 days. Healthy groceries provided by the sober living home is another form of support. Gym memberships, that's another form of providing support and supporting the community. Structure, so 12-step based, chores, weekly house meetings, clear expectations. So structure, they get out of bed by 8 o'clock, they do their chore, they go to a meeting, they call their sponsor, there's a weekly house meeting, they're home by curfew, they're tested. So all of these things are just a good way to help people early on in recovery develop new lifestyle habits, because that's the goal of sober living, is to build a foundation, build new friends, new hobbies, new interests, new lifestyle habits, new behaviors, so that they can step down and move on to their own. And new lifestyle habits don't happen overnight. They don't happen in 1 week. They don't happen in 2 weeks. They happen in, at least a minimum of 90 days, typically. That's my experience, and evidence supports 90 days of sober living is the best the best way to start. Start with 90 days of sober living, and that also builds the community. Community, having a strong community is another important aspect of a good, high quality sober living home. And so family style dinners, when the sober living home provides the food and groceries, that means food is community. It's like families that eat together and families that pray together or families that stay together. So family style dinners, they cook breakfast together, they eat together. All of the food in the house is everybody's. So there's no hostility, there's no isolation. We want to promote human connection. Human connection is going to lead to the best chance of long-term recovery, long-term sobriety. Purpose. So purpose meaning that it's a requirement that all the residents have to go to school, work, IOP, PHP, volunteering. They've got to do something productive with their day. So that's super important. If you like what you heard today, if you'd like to find out more about how to find a sober living home, if you're in Arizona, Camelback Recovery is a good option. If you're in another area, you can we have a consumer awareness guide here, the Consumer's Awareness Guide to Choosing a Sober Living Home. Comment below or call us or text us at 602-466-9880. In this Consumer's Awareness Guide, it includes the 5 pillars of a high-quality sober living home, also includes the 9 mistakes to not make when choosing a sober living home, and the 5 misconceptions of a sober living home. So thanks for listening. Comment, like, share this post, and we'll see you next time.